blue things you put over your feet when you go to a swimming pool in order to keep her shoes dry. Just took them off camera there.
Yeah, it's so important to have like those little, there's so many little things that I think you bring to competitions that like you don't use, and then until you don't have them, and then you wish that you did. Stuff to cover your shoes, towels, etc. Hand warmers as well. It's like a beta I've become kind of privy to at the really cold competitions. You get those like hand warmers that you open them up and you shake them and they get really hot. You can chuck them in your chalk bag so your like hands keep warm during your warm up.
Yeah, I think there's a certain brand that uses a chalk bag like that, which same kind of theory.
Also, I like to have one of those like instant ice packs in my bag for competitions as well, so that like if it gets really hot and I need to cool myself down, just like bang, straight away, it gets cold. Good for bouldering comps especially.
Yeah, all part of this experience, preparing themselves, and also having mentors with you to teach you this stuff, because
yeah,
you know, you got to learn it from someone.
Yeah, absolutely. That's nice. The climbing community is very like open and communicative. So those role models don't necessarily have to be your coaches or your teammates. There's like, I think all of these tools I've learned from people around me, because most of the World Cups I've been to, I've been on my own or part of like one or two athletes, and so yeah, it's nice that people take each other under each other's wing, and there's a lot of like information and support to be shared. Even here I'm the only Australian, but it's like hard to feel alone because there's always people around that'll lend a hand or just like hang out with you, you know. It's good. It's a really nice group for sure.
Yeah, and something we've seen with this COVID stuff is just how supportive everyone has been of each other, because it's been really quite touching actually watching all the athletes in the crowds in stadiums where we can't have audiences and just seeing how much support there is. It's wonderful to watch.
Yeah, a lot of us are really, really close friends, and yeah, not necessarily the friends that like you would expect, people who come from all sorts of different places and speak different languages, and there might be all sorts of barriers to those like relationships, but like they exist nevertheless. You know, when you spend so much time on the circuit, sometimes like some of your closest friends will be ones that you only see at comps.
Natalia Grossman resting well. Something she's so good at is finding these rests in either split positions or high heels. But we know what the stakes are here tonight. She'll need a top in order to get into that finals. No pressure. Natalia's climbed so quickly to this point.
She's just so outstanding this year. She's always been good though. Like, she was, even a couple of years ago, like very much capable of top 10 results. I think she kind of flew under the radar. I think maybe her results at the US selections hadn't been quite up to par, so she wasn't maybe climbing in as many World Cups, and I know she had an injury as well that kept her out of the game. But then like this year, there's just nothing stopping her. Yeah,
she has found a different level, of course, winning lots of medals with the bouldering and then starting to convert it to the lead as well.
Yeah, I think that's been the most impressive thing, is I've always known her as a high-level boulderer, and then when she stepped onto the lead circuit, I was like, oh wow, she can kind of do it all.
Yeah, and she is doing it all now. 3 holds to go. And if she does top it, she will be through into that final, so as she see what she can do in this final couple of moves here, as she works her feet up left and goes up into the side pull, looking so confident at the moment. Grits her teeth, pops out left, matches, and she'll clip.
Easy, and with time to...
And didn't look like she was having a problem, so maybe we can see a replay of that in a minute. But Sasha Such a popular man at 23 and 51 World Cups, so he's very, very experienced, of course. And Sasha, just one of those characters on the scene. He just, again, he kind of exudes calm from him. You get the feeling that he's there. And yet, when things start to get stressful for Sasha, you can see it on his face. He's expressive.
I was about to say the exact same thing. I'm like, you're like, he exudes calm. I'm like, oh yeah, but when...
Until it gets going.
Yeah, when he's stressed. Which is funny, because when he won was one of these instances we were talking about where you had to top.
Yeah.
Like, there were multiple tops in that final, and you had to climb perfectly on a quote-unquote easy route. And he just like completely held it together, which is not necessarily what I would generally expect to be Sasha's style necessarily. But he's and we're talking about climbers who are well trained and can do one-arm pull-ups. This guy can do like 15 one-arm pull-ups.
It's a different world, I tell you.
Yeah.
But Sasha is so strong, and that's what he's known for as well. But now he's having to turn that physicality on as he cuts loose, just pops off with the right there, I think, with the heel. Coming up to 20-10 Central European time. A long semi-finals here, so thank you for joining us. And if you're sticking with us, don't turn off, or don't turn your computer off, or your TV off. We've got some climbing action to come for the men. Sasha Lehmann looks to make his bid for a finals place here tonight. Just choosing to rest on these underclings. He's very good at that, finding the little rests on tiny holds that others might not spot. Let's see how fresh Sasha's arms are as he nears this top section of the route again. This is where we see most of our falls take place, is this final head wall section. Sasha almost peeling off there when he went up with the right bump. And watch those elbows start to rise. We talked about that earlier. It's a good tell that an athlete is getting a little tired, but
talking about Sasha's style though, I think fighting is definitely where he like really excels. Like when he gets into that sort of zone where he's a little bit fatigued, he starts climbing really well. I think he's almost like too strong for his own good, you know? Once he has to wait until he's tired before he's really able to like do all the right things.
He had to fiddle the quick draw then. He wanted to clip quicker and he can go, but now he's popping for the top and just loose.
And saw her training, and even in training, she's super focused. Yeah, completely thinking about the climbing and what she's got to do for training.
Laura immediately onto the wall in a pretty rapid pace. Remember, if the athletes draw tonight, a few of them top it, it will go to time as they drew the semi-finals. So Laura might have that in mind as she powers through this first bit.
I definitely think she's got it in mind. She's pretty rapid, I'd say.
Yeah, and we know this bottom section, we were saying, maybe it has to be climbed carefully and slowly, and yet here she is.
I mean, she's had a pretty successful run and topped quite a few World Cup routes, including finals this year, so maybe the confidence from those previous competitions has increased her pace at the bottom, though this looks quite awkward.
Yeah, Laura stretching out right to shoulder press into that.
But she at least moved for it really quickly, so I doubt it would have taken too much energy from her.
What a great final so far. We've seen three completely different styles come out here at the moment. If you're wondering what that grey circular hold is above the blue circular hold, that is a bolt blocker. They put that on to cover the hangers in case the athlete step in it. You can see how close her foot goes to that, because if an athlete steps on a bolt, they will get disqualified. There's appeals. This is one of the methods they're using, and you can see another one above her head there in this next quick draw.
Yeah, they're really cool to have on the wall, and can definitely, I wish they were covering all of the bolts really. It's the last thing you want to be thinking about when you're climbing as a competitor, whether your foot drags over a bolt, because the coaches are, they're all looking. If it means that their athlete makes finals and you don't, then that's not something they'll hesitate to appeal over.
Laura then on hold 20. Slightly struggling here a little bit. She needs to be accurate on this, which she is.
That looked quite close actually. A tiny bit of hesitation before she went.
Yeah, let's see how long she rests here. She doesn't rest.
Oh, no rest required.
Wow. Now she's deciding to rest a little bit. Looks down at the clock. Laura on a speed run here in Chamonix. She came second in Villars last week, so as you said, confidence must be riding high for her.
Yeah, it must be. And she's, I think, about a whole minute faster than the other women so far, so she's definitely got speed on her mind.
Laura resting on bad holds. She's very, very good at that as she reverses and gets the heel in. And now into this slightly more physical section, pinchy holds.
Laura, again, a bit of a wizard when it comes to heel hooks, so maybe she'll kind of tech her way through this power section. Yeah, another one, there you go.
We watched Laura static everything last week in Villars, one of her strengths.
Opting to go left hand for this. That actually looked like quite a good method, I think. Into where we lost Ashima.
Laura crimping the top of that hold. There is a little hold there.
I think that might be a foothold she's just crimped. It wouldn't surprise me.
No, it really wouldn't. We both leaned into the screen when that happened, trying to see this invisible hold. But
could be a sign that she's starting to fatigue, trying to use everything she can reach. But I know Laura loves a good crimp, so I think she'll be in her happy place right now.
Now, is she going to bump up with the left? She's eyeing it up, into it with the pinch, just the fingers, and gets the thumb into play as well.
That heel looked like a great idea, like a lot. I guess made the move slightly higher percentage, maybe. Just matching the blocked hold.
Yeah, she's pinching this, still with the arms straight.
And our new high point already.
So as the sun sets on us here in Chamonix, Laura climbs into the lead at the moment, into that tiny little crimp.
Swings over onto the pretty big feature that's down. But doesn't really hesitate over there too much.
Laura approaching the end of the route as the crowd gets behind her. 1 minute 40 on the clock, plenty of time. She's gambled on speed and it's paying off at the moment, but she needs to pull off this route.
This looks like it could be quite a difficult clip to get. Come on, Laura.
Yeah, the clip down at her feet now. She needs to clip it in order to continue, and now she thinks about it, using the quick draw cleverly into the rope.
I think that's the last quick draw on the wall now, so all in for the top.
There it is, it pans into view, that hold out to the left. Laura upgrading her feet, looking for this press move. She's got the left crimp.
A whole minute to work out this section.
Laura, final move from her. Can she keep it together? It's going to have to be a jump. We know she doesn't love doing this.
Is she going to static it?
Is she going to static it? She's definitely trying to static it. She needs to go though. Latches it.
She sticks it.
All she needs to do is clip that final quick draw. Brings the right hand and just sticks it.
Fantastic hold.
Reaches up, inches away, and she's topped the route. What a time for Laura.
Another final top.
He just doesn't let the stress of the situation get to him.
So Sean Bailey climbing quickly through this first bit. Hasn't made a clip yet, but gets his first one in. Yeah, there's a lot of confidence in that young man at the moment.
Yeah, and he's recently won a bouldering World Cup, so I mean these type of difficult moves that we've seen at the start aren't going to be as intense as maybe we've seen in some of the other athletes who are more lead specialists. Like I know Victor, he's a strong boulderer, but he's definitely a lead specialist at the moment. So Sean, who's fresh off a bouldering victory, is probably filled with confidence that all of these moves are well within his ability.
Yeah, Sean taking that bouldering victory in Salt Lake City quite a few weeks ago now. Sean, just taking a moment now on this sloper to rest.
I thought that was in slow motion then, but he's just moving incredibly slowly on that rest. He's just so calm and relaxed. It's something that I'm really impressed by every time he climbs.
Sean deciding to clip off that crimpy side pull. Martin clipping off the sloper. And a different sequence there from Martin as well. Keeping his feet very low.
Yeah, it looks like he's done this slightly, well, quite a lot better than we saw Martin do it. Definitely looks more chilled.
Yeah, now the feet disappear a little bit, and as you can see, just working it up on that black volume.
those volumes for toe hooks are really good. They've got very flat edges, so for toe and heel hooks, they're amazing. But for hands, you know, it's basically if you're not squeezing with your thumb or palm on those red holds, your hand's just going to slip straight off. So as I was saying earlier, it's hard not to expend too much energy on slightly easier sections just by over gripping.
So Sean Bailey, a little difficulty there, but very quickly makes it work for himself. Out to the arete. And deciding to go down, I don't think he thought he could make that clip from above.
I think you're right there, yeah. He definitely had the horsepower to get the move. Yeah. He was just thinking one move ahead of getting that lower clip, which he probably could have made. I think we saw Martin make it from that hold, but it's that dilemma.
Right, Sean currently in 3rd position. Now moving into 2nd position.
Really impressive climbing from Sean.
Right, this is this knee bar blocker we watched Martin drop. Will Sean spot this? Will he even think to use it? Let's see. Looking for a knee bar underneath there. Bumping his hand up to leave room for that knee bar, and he's going to try to get it in. And he's making it work.
Wow.
There we go, root setters. You can do it. It's certainly not going to be as good as a rest, though, and you can see he moves through it pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think that toe hook position there is slightly better than the knee bar. I think you figured that out pretty quick, but it worked for the clip.
Right, bumps up under these volumes, and this is where he needs to start working his way from right to left. And a big move coming up here to this slap, and he drops it.